Thank you for staying with us. Let's begin with a delicate and troubling matter. The alleged rape of a 10-year-old pupil of Chrisland School, Lagos, is giving us a collective rude awakening. The Lagos State government has ordered the closure of all Chrisland schools in the states. Also, the State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alabi, said the command has commenced investigation into the matter. Meanwhile, the Executive Director of Invectus Africa, Buki Shonibare, says Nigerian law is silent on rape. Take a listen.
Nigerian law is silent as it relates to statutory rape generally, and by statutory rape, which is the argument in relation to the Chrisland Schools case, is to say that when a child, when rape occurs between presumably an adult and a child who has not attained the statutory age of consent. So none of the laws we currently have in Nigeria contemplate situation where both the perpetrators and the victims, as is this case, are minors or they are children. If any legal action or criminal action is brought, it will have to be decided based on the general case of.
What you said. Babajide, this Chrisland thing is so baffling, and it shows everything collectively. We've all failed. Parenting, schools, and guardian, and those people that should be responsible, you know, for the upkeep or growth of any girl child or any child.
You see, parenting has been going steadily down in our country, just like the Nigerian currency has been going down for years, without us paying attention.
Yes, I saw your post yesterday, 600 naira to $1.
That is the truth.
That's the height of...
At a point when it was 180, Jonathan was called names. But here we are today. I wish some of those people can man up to deliver the same kind of criticism that they delivered when it was 180, 185. I've said it repeatedly. This CBN governor came into office at 180, 185. Now we are closing in on one, because on Easter Monday it was 583 at the parallel market, which is seen as the most realistic of all, because it's not government imposed. It is determined by market forces. So 583. So it's closing in on 600 gradually. So parenting had been going steadily down. We did not see anything wrong about it. Today's generation of parents think that the way to make the child happy is to simply pander to everything that the child wants. And I was on a flight to Abuja one day. I will never forget. There was this boy who was barely 5 years. He would climb the aeroplane seat and then jump down. He would repeat the routine again and again and again. And at a point I said, "Little boy, stop that." Do you know the woman screamed at me, said, "Don't shout at my son." I said, "And somebody put this idiot at home as a wife." That boy could even break his back in the process. Parents now see even scolding their child.
They go to the schools.
Yes. No, I'm not going there yet. In their own homes, they can't scold their child. Whereas our parents, even if a woman tries to get in the way of a father trying to discipline the child,
they will beat you.
That woman could be beaten in return, so that you now learn an exemplary lesson or be kicked out of the home. You know? So, what are we talking about? Are we going to be playing to the gallery again and continue to blame schools when parenting has collapsed? Parents allow their children access to gadgets.
Android phone.
There is nothing wrong in giving your child, because some of them can actually learn. You lesson and the rest you can use on your phone.
But the flip side of it,
learn. No, there are safety nets that you can put. For example, you can ensure that the child cannot download a new app on the tablet that you've given him unless a request for, what's it called, for a code is asked for. Some parents
you must always approve any app
you
to
know
download it.
You know what the child is doing with that tablet. He can't download any app unless there's a request for a code, which will then bring the parent into the equation. You understand? So what we have seen, the skills, I'm sorry to say, the skills that those kids showed in that video can only be the result of constantly downloading adult content on their phones. Look, some of us are old-timers already. Like Abbas Otitoju, who is based in the US, he likes to call himself an old-timer. I'm an old-timer. But I'm saying those skills that we saw in that video, some people have not seen that video. Those skills are not for neophytes. They are not for people who just began to copulate. This is the truth.
That means that's not the first time.
They've been watching adult content unrestrained, and they felt like just doing it. I was on Facebook this morning. I saw a video of a 15-year-old boy and his friends who wanted to lodge in an hotel.
I saw it.
And
the person there was like,
yes,
security.
What are you? You want to lodge in an hotel?
Yes,
How old are you? He said 15.
And the girls started moving away. They were embarrassed.
At that point, they knew that, okay, but how many hotels stop such kids? I was in Lokoja. If you see these small boys and girls who lodged in the hotel where I stayed, in fact, I felt a deep sense of revulsion. They came and they were smoking weed and other things, unrestrained, because some of them get into higher institutions at 16 or 17. So I was looking at them and said, this boy can't be as old as my firstborn now. My firstborn is 19. And they lodged, brought their mates, little girls.
Tiny things.
I don't know, even to lose virginity is so cheap now. It's as cheap as sachet water. Whereas in those days, it was a stain of honor to hold on to it, whether you are a man or not.
When you begin to see these signs, and we investigated this particular person in question, and we noticed that, number one, the age might not be that actual age. Number two, we now discovered that she's been making videos and she has followers online. That was when I came into a conclusion that no, this is not a neophyte. This is not a first timer.
I think
she's been dancing and she's been uploading the pictures online.
We are dealing with a very serious problem, because if we have no cause to celebrate today, at least tomorrow should give us hope. These children are the future of our country, and what they are doing, we have very serious implications for the moral fabric of the country. Just like Babajide has said, there are 3 layers of schooling, to bring out the best in a child. The society itself, the schools, that's why we send them to school to be trained and to be given education, and then the family. The first social unit, the first institution is the family. And it is the most important.
Yes.
Because the first years of a child, you spend it with your father and your mother. So what goes on in that home has a lot of impact on the psychology of the child. If you have some parents who go to parties, come back by 1 a.m., they are drunk, they watch pornography, they resort into violence, courtism, necessarily that child will take after those children. He will go through their phones when they are not around, and all the child sees pornography films. So the child thinks it's normal. When you are trying to correct that
children,
child,
they are curious.
Yes,
the first thing they go for is your phone.
Your phone. You can't sleep 24 hours. Or
they know your passwords. They will even use your.
They tell you, I want to use your phone. They have assignment. I want to look at the internet. Then you go to internet, you now see pornography and all sorts of things. And even some WhatsApp groups that we belong to, you see some people, adults, they will send, the admin will be telling them this thing is not for, and some of them will be defending it. So you can say near collapse of parentage. And if parents are not responsible, they can't give birth to responsible children. It's not possible. So we need to go back to search our conscience. You know, what kind of children do you want to, you know, to produce? Because if at that age, that tender age, then you can just imagine, and she's going to infect so many other children through peer influence. So we need to actually do a moral survey of our society.
I think
in order to be able to.
A lot of parents are so irresponsible that they've outsourced the upbringing of their children to schools.
I wanted to talk about the Christmas Day bomber. If you remember,
yes,
he was in a big mansion on his own.
A £5 million house that the father bought.
He had access to internet, was watching people from Yemen.
Alone.
He went to Yemen.
He was living alone in the house.
Do you understand? So what we expose our children to?
The thing is, sometimes a child could be a product of a disciplined home, good upbringing, yet by mingling with some never-do-wells and bad people, it could be influenced. That's a different matter. But increasingly, parents are going through hell trying to make money so that they can put their children in the best schools, so that they can fend for their families. And their responsibility as parents, they are leaving it behind, leaving it in the hands of schools. And a lot of these schools are not even investing anything in child protection. So when these sort of things happen, who do you blame? The blame is both ways. Character, you begin to form character in your home. That's where it begins. If there are things that you do that your parents don't complain about, chances are that you will grow up with it. So this is the thing. This is the way we were brought up. But the current generation, I have extreme pity, because look, this won't be the last. But I'm alarmed at the age of these people, because look, even one of those children gave us an idea of their age when he was saying, you are just 13, you are just 11, you are doing this, you know. So this is the thing. We can ban the video, we can threaten people with jail and all that. The steps that we need to take from within the home, if we don't take, we won't be, this kind of things will continue to happen.
And very expensive school.
Yes. You can't trust teachers to do all the best for your children. You get home around 12 midnight, your children are asleep. You don't go into their rooms to even have an idea of what they are doing. The next day by 4 a.m. in a place like Lagos, where life is actually rat race, you are out again. 4 a.m. The children don't see you. It is the house help. It is the house help that takes care of the children, that wakes them up, that baths for them, puts them in the school bus, and they are gone to school. You are not a parent anymore. You have outsourced your responsibility to house help and the teachers in the schools.